This is James. Welcome back to the channel. So glad you are here. Um, Pretty excited. I got a new tripod here. It's one of those tentacles. I know people see it on Instagram and they're like, oh, this is just, I don't know if it'll work or not, but I love it. I'm looking right at it. And no, they're not a sponsor. They did not give me money to say this. I would just tell you that I really, really, really like this product. And if you are a content creator, you might want to look into it. So anyway, Steve Wilhite. Oh boy. Wow. Thank you to brother John Elwig for pointing this video out on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. I just love how he accuses Jonathan and Susie of a smear campaign. But what the heck is his video? Here, let's talk about Jonathan Lamb. According to Steve, he's been with Daystar for 35 years. He was the direct report for the performance plan, and this is what he said about Jonathan. He didn't manage the 3 departments he was over. He would come in late. He would leave early. He would have 2-hour lunches, and then he'd go play golf at the end of the week. We'll deal with that in a minute. Okay. And then, what does he do? Then Steve goes after Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson, that she misled people, that she's about taking a strong moral stand. Interesting, really. Then he says, oh, she was only a part of Daystar for 26 days. And she knew about Jonathan and Susie's smear campaign. A smear campaign. Okay. What the heck are you doing? And she wants to position herself as a voice of integrity and capitalize on controversy. And according to Steve, she only did this because she was losing subscribers. It has nothing to do with the fact that, Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson, like myself, wants to see justice done. She wants to see whoever hurt this girl, Jonathan and Susie's daughter, go to prison. Just like I do. You see, I've talked to Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson's staff, so I know that's how they feel. He tries to come out on here, Steve tries to come on here, and like he is this expert on Joni Lamb, and she's just a woman of impeccable character, and Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson doesn't know this woman, so she's not credible. You see, that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to discredit the critics because they don't want to face the facts. And then her YouTube channel only had 5,000 views and it wasn't making any money, but because she's throwing Daystar around, now she's got 2.7 million views and she made $13,400 and blah, 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 blah. Take out the paint, trying to paint. Somehow Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson's the bad guy now. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Sounds like the Wizard of Oz, doesn't it? Steve, shall I remind you of who the real bad guy is? The real bad guy is the person who abused Jonathan and Susie's daughter. That's the real bad guy. That's the person that needs to be brought to justice. That's the person that needs to sit in a cell for 30, 40 years. You can go to prison. And then Steve calls her, look at the small details. Look at how people address one another. Steve refers to Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson as a clickbait cockroach. I would never call someone that. Why? It's not loving. It's not kind. Doesn't demonstrate any of the fruits of the Spirit. Not going to go there. And if the allegations of covering up sin against Marcus and Joni are false, why is it all of a sudden you didn't bring up the fact that Susie had been attacked by this weird chiropractor guy? I'm just curious. Why is it that you didn't even mention that? You know why? You want to sweep it under the rug. You want to pretend like it didn't happen. I mean, if you want to come after me, you can. I've made it pretty obvious. One of the things I'm going to do with the money that I make from this channel is I'm going to pay for my doctorate of ministry. My ultimate goal, well, there's two things I really would love to do. Is I want to create a nonprofit organization. I want a halfway house for women who have been abused, and I want a homeless shelter for veterans. If I could create those two things, that would be awesome. So I'm doing my doctorate of ministry about how to. I forgot the exact title of the thing, but God willing, I'll be starting that this fall, next fall of 2025. But let's go through your video here. Number one, Steve, you forgot to mention Susie's attack at all. I want justice for Susie as well, not just Jonathan and Susie's daughter. I want justice for Susie as well. The simple fact is, if you worked in that building and you had anything to do with that chiropractor being there, guess what? You're liable. If you didn't report it, you're liable. And quite frankly, all these allegations you're making against Jonathan, you have absolutely zero proof whatsoever, at least haven't shown any, that Jonathan didn't do some work from home. What happened over the last 4 or 5 years? Oh yeah, the pandemic. I guarantee you Jonathan did work from home. I guarantee you. Come on. Be real. Just tell the truth. What do I want? I want the same thing that Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson wants. I want the same thing that Julie Roys wants. I want the same thing that Not By Sight News wants. I want justice for this little girl. And I want justice for Susie. Do not forget the fact that Susie Lamb was mistreated. And I'm using that word intentionally so that this video doesn't get flagged. By a chiropractor who didn't have a license in 2017. And oh, by the way, Steve, if you're going to say that I'm trying to do clickbait, there's a lot of people that watch this channel that want Daystar to sink like the Titanic. I'm not one of them. I want Daystar to be reformed. I want Daystar to tell the truth. I want Daystar to, as you said, if your number one goal is to spread the gospel around the world, okay, good. Yes, you need to tell more and more people about Jesus. Absolutely. But just out of curiosity, why does Joni Lamb need a house with 8 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms when all of her kids are grown? Just a question. That doesn't make sense to me. Now, if she bought the house and bought other properties because she's trying to invest in real estate and then hopes to sell it in the future and make money and then give the money back to Daystar, that would be actually financially make sense. But I don't see that. See, I went to this thing a month or so ago. Craig Groeschel and John Maxwell and some other people were there, and they were talking about how you can use real estate to help boost your portfolio and actually help fund ministry. That's not what Daystar is doing. Okay, just as a side note. And then you say that you allege Jonathan and Susie of doing a smear campaign. What the heck was your video? You blasted Jonathan. You blasted Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson. And the bottom line is, those people, along with me, we want justice for Jonathan and Susie's daughter. My goal on this channel is to eliminate all forms of abuse and assault. 1 in 4 women have been assaulted, mistreated in America. 1 in 8 men. I just wonder, Steve, have you ever talked to somebody who's been a victim of abuse? You ever looked in their eyes? I have. The pain, the anguish that they experience when somebody is forcing them to do something very, very vile, very, very invasive, and very evil. There was a weird chiropractor floating around Daystar doing that to people. Where were you? I just wonder. So you can defend Jodi Lamb all you want. You can say that she's a woman of great character, but the fact is, she used her card on non-Daystar expenses. Give her credit, they did pay it back. Good. She shouldn't have done it in the first place. And that is a sign that she should not be the president of Daystar. The real president of Daystar should be Jonathan Lamb. So, and people may not agree with me on this one, but I'll tell you that if you put truth serum in all 3 of them, Joni Lamb, Rachel Lamb Brown, and Jonathan Lamb, they're all grieving the loss of their dad, and they're dealing with it in different ways. So that's why we have controversy right now. If Joni Lamb would do what they did up in Tulsa, Billy Joe Doherty was an amazing man. He loved the people of Russia. He flew there constantly to preach the gospel. Fortunately, he died of leukemia. You know what happened? His wife Sharon took over, and please don't flood my comments about, I'm not here to argue about whether women should be in ministry or not, but she subbed and was the senior pastor for a couple of years until her son was ready. You can tell I've been up late. I'm very, very tired. I still haven't recovered from the New Mexico trip. But Paul Doherty is now the senior pastor at Victory Church of Tulsa, and they're doing great. That's what should have happened with Daystar. But no, Joni's got her defenders out there saying that she's the woman for the job. No. So, Steve, you can accuse people of mudslinging, you can, or clickbait. What you refer to her as a clickbait cockroach? That ought to tell you right there the character of Steve Wilhite. Steve, I'm not going to call you names. I just don't agree with what you're doing. If your goal is to help spread the gospel around the world, first thing you might want to do is get Doug Weiss off your network. Yeah, by the way, it's funny how Steve didn't mention Doug, even though several women have now come forward and said that Doug did some bad things to them while counseling them. I wonder what happens to Doug when those women actually make formal charges and Doug gets his license pulled in Colorado. I just wonder. There's no proof until these whistleblowers actually come forward. But here's the bottom line, Steve. I'm not doing this video for clickbait. I'm not doing this video for... I want to eliminate all forms of abuse. I want to make sure that like Jonathan and Susie's daughter, I don't want to ever see any other little girl get hurt like that ever again. That's my desire. That's my hope. That's my goal. They're like, well, these critics, they have bad motives. I just told you exactly why I'm doing this video. So, if you are new, please hit like and subscribe. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you so much for this community. I believe the people that watch this channel are in agreement with me. They want to see wolves in sheep's clothing exposed. They want to see abusers go to jail, go to prison. I heard a comedian once say that, you know, somebody says, oh, I've been to Target. So you can't say things that are French just to make it sound, you know, glamorous. It's like, where have you been the last 3 years? I've been to prison. Well, whoever hurt that little girl, Steve, needs to go to prison for a long time. So that's what we want. It's not about clickbait. And for you to refer to somebody as a cockroach, you're out of line. So anyway, thank you for being here. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow.